Good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live. Cliff, good evening. Mike, Randy, always a pleasure, my friends. Thank you so much. Love my Wednesday Night Lives. Hello, Linda. How are you? Uncle Johnny, how you doing, buddy? Was your appointment today? If so, it was today. I apologize because mine is tomorrow. I hope everything went well, and have a good dinner and have a bourbon for me. David, good evening. Bernie, how are things going? Captain, how are you? Yep. Okay, good. Chad, good evening. I appreciate you joining us on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Jerry's going fishing tonight. Mad Jack over on YouTube. Jeff, good evening. Hello, James. How are you? Can I assume, Uncle Johnny, you're going to the place right around the corner? We like that place. Mike says he can't wait for Saturday. I bet your bear season starts Saturday, doesn't it? Tommy, did you get the email that I followed up with that was following up from the DNR, by the way? Jim, how are you? Captain Todd's along with us. How are you this evening? My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. Next Wednesday, we will be at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. Ed, will you be there? I know that Craig will be there. Michelle will be there. How about you guys, Ed? Haven't checked yet. Tommy, the DNR responded. Oh, downtown. You good? Oh, you're going high styling tonight, Johnny. Have fun, you and Aunt Debbie. Your bear season does start Saturday. I think so, James. I will check. Did you send them via email or did you send them via Facebook Messenger? I will double check. Robert, good evening. You are more than welcome, Tommy. Family from California is in town. I got to think about that one, Johnny. James, they cut the silage corner around my house for pit blinds backyard. It's goose time in the morning. Excellent. And James, thank you. Jim Hoppy is on the radio show this week. If you were with us last week, you might remember Jim Hoppy, who his comment is up here right now, came on and said he was looking forward to water temperatures dropping so he could go casting for walleye. I said, boy, that really got my attention. Jim and I started corresponding back and forth, and now he's actually the opening guest on the radio show this week. I'll talk more about that in a minute. But Jim, I appreciate that. Lori, good evening. How are you? Cousins, well, have fun, Johnny. Have fun. Say hi to everybody. Not that I know him, but say hi to him for me. Randy, good evening. I stopped by Rapid River Knife. I told them about the dinner. They asked if I've ever tried to do a dinner near them. I have not. Johnny Bowler just had a hunter shoot. Johnny, let me ask you this, Johnny. Do you think what's the place right around the corner from you, Johnny? Would that be a good place for a Wednesday Night Live? Or should we try someplace a little more subdued? Bernie says the only bucks I ever see in Brimley at the casino going out of your wallet. Good evening, Paul. Brian, Kingston, Ontario, getting ready for our archery moose hunt. How cool is that? Andy's, thank you, Craig. Tony, my fellow skinny water guy. Crow hunting slow yesterday, only 8 foggy. It was very foggy. See you next Wednesday. I'm looking forward to that. You and your buddy, what's your buddy's name, Tony? Randy? Lori Card got her captain's license, so we can call you Captain Lori. How cool is that? Johnny, Andy's is an awesome spot. Johnny, do you think we could fill Andy's if we did a Wednesday Night Live there? And do you think we could get I really want to have Chris Durson from Rapid River there. Should we try to find someplace closer to Rapid River? Bear hunting this weekend, Mike. Good luck to you. Hey, Sue. Speaking of Rapid River Knives, Sue checking in from rapidriverknifeworks.com. Sue, if we did a Wednesday night live up in Seney, would you and Chris come up, or do we need to find someplace closer to Rapid River to have a Wednesday night live? Jim says, I'd be going fishing tonight, but the dogs need some hunting time. Yep, got to take care of the dogs. Randy, thank you. Lori says, yes, sir. See, we did that before, Linda. This is actually what I would prefer to do, Sue and Chris. We did a Wednesday night live at the Rapid River showroom before. But technically, the showroom isn't open on Wednesday nights. Now, I would be open, Sue and Chris. I would be more than willing to do a Wednesday night live at the Rapid River shop. You know what would be cool, Sue, Chris? If I don't know if you have, forgive me for saying it like this. Do you have food trucks in the area? If we could have a food truck in the parking lot so people could get something to eat, maybe walk around the showroom, would that work, Sue? Art Lewis. Art Lewis, who says, my outdoor hero, but you got to remember, Art is a member of the Broadcasting Hall of Fame. Something I will never be honored with. But Jim says, I get a little sleep these days. Linda says, nice to see all the ladies logging in. Ray, good evening. Looking forward to taking his son on the youth hunt Saturday. To all our youth hunters and their parents and their grandparents or whoever's taking them, have fun. Good luck. Set an example. Keep the tradition going. And whether your youth hunter scores a deer or not, if you've got pictures you want to share, send them to me in an email, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, and I will share them. Randy, good evening. FSC, Mike, go dogs. Rabbit homesteading. Captain JT, Mad Jack, Art Lewis, happy to see you all. Good evening. Rabbit homesteading, are you, I think, did I ask you this last week? Are you going to be able to make Wednesday night live? Mickey's going to see us there next week. Johnny Bowler, forget about that for a minute. I don't want to go that far because I think we might be changing plans and going to Rapid River, but we'll see. Johnny Bowler said he just had a hunter shoot. Not on the 20th. No, it won't be for a long time. It won't be, Johnny, for a long time. Well, Art, I've been saying that for the longest time. Chris Durson of Rapid River should come down here for a Wednesday night live. I've been on him. I've been cajoling him. I've been shaming him into it, but we haven't seen him down here yet. Mike says, if I get done before Wednesday and there's still room, Jay and I might make it down. Mike, there is going to be room because of the very thing you just mentioned here. Because next Wednesday, hunting seasons are in progress. Some of our regular friends can't make it, so we do have room. Now, here was the option, and I've talked about this before. The other option was to do it tonight. And I could not bring myself to get people to come together and have a celebration on 9/11. But I can get people to come together and celebrate on 9/18, and that's where we're going to be next Wednesday night at the Lumberjack Restaurant. We do still have room, 989. Tony, you know what I'm going to ask you to do right now, right? Post the phone number, 989-343-0892. Call for reservations. More on that coming up. Good evening, Dave. I know you're going to be bear hunting, Lori. Good luck to you. I hope all you and your hunters have fun. Good evening, George. How are you? Randy. I am Murray checking in from Burt Lake. Mike Fischel, official, listening intently in Marlette. All right, Johnny, you text me. I want to see a picture of your hunter sitting over that bear. And hopefully you got 2 more bears down tonight. Johnny Bowler, the bear whisper. Scott, good evening. Ryan, taking my son on his first youth hunt, not seeing many deer, hoping for the best. Here's your challenge, Ryan, is to make it a wonderful event and to get your son hooked on hunting, even if you don't get to shoot an animal, right? Uh, that's in your hands. I know you can do it. Keep their tradition alive and good luck to you. Have fun. Randy says, I hope you can plan it up at Rapid River Knife. That's his new favorite knife shop. It's everybody's. Listen, if you have been to Rapid River, it is your favorite knife shop. Mine, okay, I'm going to show you right here. You notice I just reached in, pulled it out of my pocket. This is my Rapid River knife. It's got my name on it, Mike Avery. This is a very special Rapid River knife because this handle is, believe it or not, woolly mammoth ivory. Pretty special. Captain JT is going to be there next week with his daughter. Thank you, Rabbit Homesteading. Excellent. I'm looking forward to that, JT. That will be wonderful. Lori says it all depends on what happens on the 18th. Tommy says, I just might have to leave work early. Jason Wolverton. I am so happy to hear that you will be there next Wednesday. That is outstanding, Jason. You make me very, very happy to hear that. Jason, we used to work together. Jason used to be at Forward Corporation. We worked together very closely. We established a wonderful partnership and became great friends, Jason. I feel that way. I hope you do. And I'm so glad to hear that you will be at the Lumberjack next Wednesday night. 989-343-0892. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate that. 989-343-0892. Jim says, I'm going to call tomorrow. I should be able to make it. Jim, that would be wonderful. Listen, Jim, when you call, if nobody answers the phone, let it ring and a machine will pick up. Give them your name, how many in your party, and a phone number so we can call back so they can call back and confirm. Mike says, I usually can't make it Wednesdays because like tonight, I'm in Gurnee, Illinois. Well, I'm glad you're with us, Mike. Appreciate it. Ruben checking in from Colorado, my friend. Always a pleasure. Brian, how are things looking out there? The lease property. Well, it's not your lease property. It's your family property out by our lease property. George, doing well. Put down 5 coyotes last night in northern Michigan. Excellent, George. George, help me out here. And I think I let something slip by and I apologize. Weren't you out west and didn't you send me some pictures of you coyote hunting out west? It was my intent to post those. I just realized right now when I see this that I did not do that. That's on me. I apologize. But if you send me those pictures from northern Michigan, I will be more than happy to post them. Mad Jack says, I ran out of youngsters to take out. I need to find another one. Johnny Buller says, hey, here's one for you. I got a guy, and I talked to him, Johnny. I talked to him last week. He said he was going to be hunting with a longbow. I'm surprised he's in a tree, though, instead of a ground blind. It was my recommendation to him. Look, it's his hunt, whatever he wants to do, and that's what I told him. But I said, when I hunted with my recurve 7 yards from the bait, I was in a ground blind, only because I could not sit still long enough to be effective. I have to have the cover of a ground blind. Tim, good evening. Checking in on a break from Bible study. Tim, I left church early to come here tonight. So God bless you, brother. Several nice bucks on camera, both in velvet and several have rubbed off. Jason Gasta. Jason, I look forward to seeing you guys, right? The family next week, you and Jamie at Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack. Good evening, Dan. Okay, Mike, who would Sturgeon for Tomorrow get in contact with at Rapid River to get a donation for our banquet? You want to talk to Chris Durson, Duerson. Chris is the owner of Rapid River. Sue, who is on here tonight, is his right-hand person. Both good people. I can't speak highly enough of Rapid River. I will tell you this. I know that Chris gets inundated by requests, but I can also tell you he's very generous in supporting Michigan-based outdoor entities. In fact, next week, when I come up there, Sue just sent it out in the mail today. I don't have it yet. We're going to have I'm going to have a gift certificate there in my hand worth $100 towards a Rapid River knife that you can use in person at the shop or online at rapidriverknifeworks.com. If you combine that with the Avery 10 discount, you'll walk in the door or go online and have $110 towards buying a Rapid River knife. Bob Keatsman said he's going to see us there next Wednesday. Excellent, Bob. Looking forward to it. This is starting to come together very nicely. Cliff, I played the video from the Michigan Deer Hunters page from the Red Bear statue unveiling. Saw me in the background. Cliff, why didn't you play the video from me that I shot of the Fred Bear unveiling? Interesting story here. We'll see if I have time to go into it. Yeah, we do. I was up there last Saturday for the unveiling of the Fred Bear statue. I didn't expect the crowd that was there. There was like 2,000, maybe 2,500 people there. And I'm looking at the angle of the sun and I'm looking at the statue and I'm looking at where do I need to be to get video. If I would have been around in front of the statue as they unveiled it, I would have been shooting directly into the sun. Well, me being an old video guy and a photo guy is like, I don't want to be shooting directly into the sun. If I would have been around to the backside, I would have had the sun directly on him, the backside of the statue. So I split the difference and I got off to the side. And it was not easy to work my way through the crowd and get up there next to the fence. Genuflecting again, get next to the fence so I could get the video. I did. All right. And that video, I'm going to say it's the first one I've ever done that I think went viral. Last time I checked, it had 1.8 million views. 2,000 people liked it. No, I'm sorry. 26,000 people liked it. 1,000 comments and 2,500 shares of the video. I think that's basically viral. When you reach that many people, you're going to reach a few idiots. And we did. And I'm not talking about the people who just didn't know. There were several comments about who is Fred Bear? What is this? Okay, I get that. But also some comments like people, it's just stupid for you to shoot video from the side of the statue. You're stupid. I'm like, you're right. I'm really, really stupid. And 1.8 million people watched my stupid video. When you reach a lot of people, you're going to reach a lot of idiots. Chris checking in from Kansas. Deer season opens Monday, and he says my spot is looking good. Chris, you keep it up. I'm gonna take you up on it sometime. Chris has a food plot he has planted in Kansas, and he calls it the Mike Avery food plot. All right, Ed, I get it. Hey, Ed, I'm still waiting for copy from that one spot we talked about. Right? I won't mention the name of the company, but I'm more than happy to voice that. Oh, speaking of voicing that, I just got some a request from the folks at the Lumberjack Lodge. They want me to voice their on hold message, and they want me to voice their dial tree, like press 1 for reservations, 2 for the restaurant, whatever. I'm going to do that for them. Oh, thank you. Absolutely. Jason says, I value our friendship. I appreciate you, Mike, bringing the whole Wolverton crew with me. Excellent. This will be the Wolverton crew that we golfed, that we fished with. And then I saw you guys at the golf outing. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Mike, are you fall turkey hunting or crossbow put away till bear hunt? No, well, yes, my crossbow is put away, but not because of my bear hunt. I'm actually going to use my 350 Legend. I've never killed a bear with a bow. I've killed probably 15 or 16 bears. Every one of them has been with a bow, a recurve, a compound, or a crossbow. This time around, I'm going to use my 350 Legend, my Brenton 350. I'm going to use, I don't know if it's going to be this Winchester or if it's going to be something else. 180 grain bullets, because I want to kill my first Michigan bear with a Michigan gun. Okay, Art says now that he's been to Rapid River, he's become hooked on Chris Durson's magnificent knives, deciding on his next purchase. You won't get, Art, and I won't get, and most people don't get just one Rapid River knife. When you get one, you start collecting more. That's what I've done. Mike finally got in, kept saying private video. That's the first time I have heard that, Mike, but I'm glad you're in. Okay, that was you, George. Again, and I apologize. It was very cool. It looked awesome. I tell you what, I'm going to make myself a note to post your pictures and send me your Michigan pictures, and I will post those too. Jason, Jamie. Oh, excellent. Looking forward to it. Adam, almost that time of year. In fact, it is that time of year. I opened the radio show this week by saying, here we go. Here we go. This weekend, when folks are hearing the radio show, it's youth season. It's the Liberty Hunt. Bear season's open. Small game season open shortly. Early goose and teal is open. It is on, my friends. It is on. Best time of year. Although I could do without this heat right now. It's not quite as muggy, right? But it's kind of warm. So I'll be shooting my Brenton 350 Legend. I will be. And here's another thing. I want to hunt with my suppressor. I've got a suppressor for my Brenton, and I want to hunt with that thing to see what it's like. So I'm going to. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Eric. You are more than welcome, Mike. Ross. Ross, I miss you, buddy. We used to see each other at a lot of events. Ross, a great friend of mine. I am very proud of Ross for losing a ton of weight. He looks great. I saw him at the golf outing. The guy hits a hell of a golf ball, and he's a good-looking, skinny guy. No, Tony, I did not get my picture with Ted. Going back to the story about this whole unveiling of the Fred Bear statue, I did not expect it to be so big. So I didn't let anybody know, the powers that be, that I was going to be there. I thought, well, I'll just walk up. I'll wait my turn in line, and I'll talk to Ted and shoot the breeze with him and reach into my pocket and show him a picture of him and I from 1992 in Florida while we were gator hunting. And I wanted to recreate the picture. But I get up there. Like I said, there's 2,000 people there. The first time I saw Nugent, he was surrounded by state troopers, conservation officers, and Midland City police officers. There's no way I was getting to Ted. The security there was surprisingly tight, to the point of there were snipers on the rooftop across the street from the venue. Now, I asked the Grayling City police chief, I called her yesterday and said, what was that all about? Like, was there some kind of a credible threat, or was this just being very cautious? She said, we were just being very cautious. Now, I don't know if that's the case or not, but so anyway, to answer your question, Tony, I did not get my picture with Ted. I was able to talk with him very briefly as he walked by. He said, hey, Mike Avery, how are you? He said, let's talk on the radio show. And that was the extent of it. But later, as I'm looking, I'm like, I see a picture that Gabe Van Wormer got of Ted singing the Fred Bear song. Gabe was on stage with Ted, and I'm like, I should have tried to pull some strings, but I didn't. It was okay. Scott Sands says, how do we get tickets for the Angler Quest giveaway that Brad is doing at the Lumberjack Dinner? Brad, okay, we've got a lot of nice things that we're giving away next week, including, listen to this, a 2025 85 26 Angler Quest Pro Troll with a 300 Mercury outboard. Brad's giving that away at the Wednesday Night Live next week at the Lumberjack. We're going to have it parked in the parking lot of the Lumberjack, and you can hook onto it with your truck and you can drive away. To get tickets for that event, call 989-343-0892. That's 989-343-0892. Forgive me, Lord, for I have sinned. Bruce, good evening. Mike Sills, Michigan Outdoorsman. Mike said he saw me in my new truck. The day I got it wrapped, I stopped at a gas station down in Bridgeport to get some water. Mike said, I saw you. I said, Mike, you should have come up and said hi. I've never met Mike before. Okay. Chris Beebe says, I'm going to hunt your spot, Mike. I will video it for you, and hopefully, well, listen, Mike, why don't you shoot video of you shooting a big buck out of my food plot? Mike Sills, interesting. I'm glad to hear this. Mike said he killed a bear last year with a 350 Legend and 180 grain bullets, left a decent size hole. Did you shoot him in the shoulder, Mike, or did you shoot him behind the shoulder in the lungs? Dave says, I'd like to get that kitchen knives from Rapid River. They are a work of art. Go to the website, rapidriverknifeworks.com. It's a brand new website. It's very cool. Rapidriverknifeworks.com. Use the promo code Avery and save 10%. Sue, if you're still here, and I'm going to reach out to Chris, I'm really, really liking this concept of doing a Wednesday night live at the Rapid River shop again. We did it before, but it was kind of a private event because the doors weren't open. It was just me and Nick Grillo wandering around the shop. Sue/Chris, are you interested in the concept of doing a Wednesday night live at the Rapid River shop, opening it up to the public, being open for business, and having some kind of food and drink there or whatever? I don't care if it's a food truck or whatever. Just thinking out loud, Sue, is that something that we might pursue? If not, we could go to Andy's in Seney. Hunting season is here, Eric. Scott Keene says it's perch season. You must be talking Lake Erie, Scott, or where? Dan, good evening. Hey, Jerry. Whoops. Good evening, Scott. Okay. I think you probably all realized that I was blatantly lying about the Angler Quest Pro Troll giveaway next week. We're not going to give away a Pro Troll. We're not going to give away a family fish. We're not giving away one of the new panfish Angler Quest. But Mr. Angler Quest himself, Brad Dupuis, will be there. Matt Schock is going to join us up there. Mike, Matt. Look forward to seeing you and Scott Gatza at Wednesday Night Live next week. Paul from the Philippines. Excellent. Have fun. Have a great trip. I'm going to hell for lying. Not if I ask God to forgive my sins. I'm not. And I just left church. So you will be able to fish out of that boat until the cops catch you. Yes. There's Sue. Sue says, my internet is bad tonight. I'm here and would love to. I'll run it by Chris. I'm going to reach out to Chris in the morning too, Sue. Oh, my pen. Wednesday Night Live. Okay. While I have this in my hand, Saginaw Bay. Excellent. While I have this in my hand, let me tell you who's on this week's Outdoor Magazine radio show. I'm very wordy tonight, as I was today. The radio show went by very quick. My first guest this week is a guy who I know I'm going to be friends with, Jim Hoppy. Jim, I haven't met him in person. I'm going to meet him next week. He was on Wednesday Night Live with us last week. Tony, Skinny Water brother. Jim Hoppy is a guy who is very, very good and has a lot of experience casting for walleye after dark. That was our topic of discussion. Then Ken Dalton, the pheasant, talking about the Michigan Pheasant Hunting Initiative. In hour number 2 this week, Rob Miller of the Michigan Deer Tracking Network talks about the use of tracking dogs to recover fatally wounded whitetails. Chad Fedowa of the DNR talking about our fall elk hunt here in Michigan. And this week's Ask Avery question. The Ask Avery question was brought about by some posts on the video that I posted of the unveiling of the Fred Bear statue. And I had a few people say, why was Nugent there? This is to honor Fred Bear. Is this just an example of Nugent trying to bring attention to himself for no good reason? And I answered that question by saying, no, it's absolutely, completely legitimate and appropriate that Ted should have been there because Ted Nugent and Fred Bear were friends. I saw this with my own eyes. There was a friendship there. There was a mutual respect. So no. And then, of course, Ted did the song Fred Bear, which I took video of my Fred Bear interview, went down to Jackson and interviewed Ted and shot some video of him. My partner there at the time, Rick Mixter, shot some video, some great video. I edited that into what I consider to be the definitive Fred Bear, Ted Nugent, the song Fred Bear video. You can see that online. If you, when we're done, go to YouTube and search Ted and Fred, you'll find my video there. It features the interview with Fred Bear and the interview with Ted Nugent and talks about the song. And I'm telling you right now, and I'm bragging a little bit, you will not find, and there's a bunch of them online, you will not find another version of that song that includes Fred Bear in it like I did. That's one of the advantages of being around for a long time. And in our third hour, Jared Gash of Poor Boys Guide Service talks about bear hunting with hounds, and we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. All right, Chris, listen, you get back to work, and I will look forward to seeing the video of you in my food plot. Jim says the perch are coming on in the bay too. Excellent. I'm on a quest to owe someone a boat. Yeah, I am. Good evening, Garth. How are you? Ed, how have you been? Where'd you go, Ed? Where'd you go, Ed? Gotta go back to Ed. There he is. Saginaw Bay's freezing over. Hopefully not for a while yet. Mark, back from Canada, didn't take a bear, but one of our group did. A lot of 150 pounders. Mark, will we see you in West Branch next week? You're going to be able to make it? TJ said he loved the Fred Bear statue unveiling, and so did 1.8 million other people. Mike, I ended up with a 10-point Titan 400. I got blessed with some overtime at work to afford it. I can't wait to shoot it. Mike, I have a 10-point, and I can't think of the name of it. I got it because you could decock it. I really like the bow. I'm sure you're going to love that 10-point. Good for you. Good for you. Tim, nice to have you along with us. Art's going for ice cream. See ya, he says. All right, Chart. Art, get chocolate. Get chocolate. No, not going to be able to make it have prior commitments. I get it, brother. I appreciate it, though. Okay, I told you who's on the show this week. I talked to, here's an interesting little tidbit. You know, I am a real fan of folklore and the old sayings. For example, one of the old sayings I like is from the time you hear, it'll be 6 weeks from the time you hear the first cicada buzz until the first frost. Now, I have been keeping track of this for years. My dad took track of it, kept track of it for years. And we didn't really find that it was 6 weeks. It was more like 8 weeks and possibly 10 weeks. I heard from Rick Wakowiak, who said from the day he heard the first cicada buzz until the day it frosted a mile from his house was exactly 6 weeks. Now, I don't know exactly where Rick is. I think he's in the Grayling Gaylord area, but isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Okay. When am I going to run my boat back over to Linwood Beach? Yeah, very soon. In fact, I took the rods off it yesterday. I took the life jackets off it. I'm probably going to go out there tomorrow and take the rest of the gear off my Angler Quest. I'm only going to leave enough on it to be legal to run it across the bay to Linwood Beach. I am done for the year. I've been done for a month. But Avery, there's some great fishing in the fall. I know it. And my good friend Scott Hand, who bought one of my old Angler Quests, says I can fish with him anytime. What's the crossbow that's made in Michigan? Darton Archery is made in Michigan. Killer Instinct is a Michigan company, but I don't think their bows are made in Michigan. I think the only bow made in Michigan right now is a Darton crossbow. And I would have bought a Darton if they had a model that you could decock. I really wanted a crossbow that you could decock. Otherwise, I would have got a Darton. I've shot Darton for years. I love Darton, but I wanted a crossbow I could decock. That was a deal breaker. Okay. Some sad news. Some of you know this guy. Some of you don't. He is a friend of mine. I've had him on the radio show a few times. I have had him on the Angler Quest podcast a few times. He is a firefighter from the Sault Ste. Marie. He's a fishing guide, True North Guide Service. He runs an Angler Quest. He's been down here on Saginaw Bay. He's come down for the last couple of Walleye for Warriors. Excellent guy, family guy, peach of a man. He was very excited because he was going on an elk hunt to Colorado. But rather than take off and leave the family, he was going to take his family with him. So he took his wife, Emily, and his two little girls, and his two little girls are like hardcore. They're just little sweethearts, hardcore fisher, anglers, hardcore hunters. And Jason was so excited about it. He wasn't bear hunting this year because he was going to Colorado on a family elk hunt. I heard from Jason's dad a couple of days ago that unfortunately, Jason had a heart attack while he was out there and he didn't make it. His girls were back at camp. He was in the blind first thing in the morning with a guide, and he had a heart attack and he didn't make it. Heartbreaking. I feel terrible. Jason was a great guy, a family guy. He will be dearly missed. I would ask you to pray for Jason Karsten's family, especially his wife, Emily, and the girls. Uh, Jason has left a huge hole in that family. Obviously, we know this is not something he wanted to do, would have preferred to do, but this is the plan, right? Please pray for Jason Karsten's widow, Emily, and the girls. Terrible story. Jason was a hell of a guy, just a great guy. And this is so very, very sad. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Jim Hoppy, his first bow was a Darton from Ernos. Ernos was down on Freeland Road, right? I remember Ernos. Yeah, it is sad. It's just it's terrible. I appreciate all you saying you're gonna pray for the family. What a terrible thing to go through. I mean, honestly, Paul, you get it, right? You got a wife and a daughter. I mean, to leave them, it's tragic. Just a terrible, terrible thing. Okay, moving along. Switching gears completely, and this I almost feel bad talking about this now after talking about Jason. Um, I got my new truck wrapped. The guys down at the guys down at Sign Image in Saginaw on Gratiot did it. They did a wonderful job. It looks great. I have posted pictures of it. I can't say enough about those guys. They do a great job. I did, let's see, going through the last few things here before I run out of time. Going back to Angler Quest. Yeah, I got myself sidetracked now here. I gotta bring myself back here. Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest, will be with us next week at Wednesday Night Live at the Lumberjack Restaurant. I would love to have you join us. 989-343-0892. We've got room for probably a dozen more people. If Emil was on here, he could verify. Emil Russo of the Forward Corporation Lumberjack Restaurant. We've got room for probably a dozen more. So we have room for you. Do they wrap pontoons? Craig, that is an excellent question. That is an excellent question. I don't know the answer, but I'd be shocked if they don't. Excellent question. Good evening, Patrick. How are you? 989-343-0892 for reservations. Mr. Angler Quest, Brad Dupuis will be with us. Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots will be with us. Andy Weiss of Truck Trolley will be with us. The Taggett family of Wreck Broadheads will be with us. Steve Wyndham of MUCC will be with us. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand can't make it, but he is sending some product to give away. We're going to have a lot of goodies to give away. I'm going to have a primal blind with me that we're going to give away. Not one of the harvesters. I'm having a hard time getting a harvester. It'll be a Wraith. So we're going to give away a Wraith. We're going to have the $100 gift certificate on a Truck Trolley. We're going to have the $100 gift certificate for Rapid River Knife. And we're going to have a lot of other great prizes as well. Thank you, Tony. 989-343-0892. 989-343-0892. Yeah, if you go to True North Guide Service, let me check it out here real quick. That was Jason's guide service out of the Sioux. True North Guide Service. Let me see if they got something. Let me see if they got something posted yet. Oh no, that's no. It's not True North. It's not True North. not True North. Somebody help me out and do a search for Jason Karstens. I thought it was True North. Come on, load. I got somebody with True North Guide Service. True North Guide Service. Yeah, okay. They did post it. They posted it. True North Guide Service on Facebook. You can see what Jason looked like. Rich is a good guy. Small world too. He stays with someone 2 miles down the road from me. Irons. Rich Krazan of Killer Food Plots. Thank you, Bernie. Appreciate it. The Sue did post something. Yeah, I saw that. True North Guide Service. Yeah. So you can see what Jason looked like. Just a great guy. My heart is broken. All right. On that happy note, I don't want to end on that note. Let's talk about next week. 1 week from tonight at this time, we will be at the Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch, the Forward Corporation Lumberjack Restaurant in West Branch. If you have joined us for a Wednesday night live at the Lumberjack, you know it is the perfect venue for a Wednesday night live. We have a lot of room. We have a lot of room for people. We have a lot of the food is great. Make your reservations 989-343-0892 989-343-0892. Make your reservations for 6 o'clock, 6:30. We will go live at 7 o'clock. This week's recipe is a goose recipe, Cliff. It is grilled goose breast. I told Dave next week we want to go to bear. So we're going to do a couple of bear recipes for the next couple of weeks. 989-343-0892 for reservations. If they don't pick up the phone, leave a message. Let it ring, and leave a message. Okay. Good luck. Thank you, Mad Jack. Good luck for those heading out with young hunters. Remember, this might be, for some of these kids, it might be their first opportunity to hunt. If you're taking those kids out, do your best, and I know you will. Do your best to make it a memorable experience. I do have one request for all of you, not just youth hunters, but everybody. Would you please take 3 seconds, and I don't care if it's a deer or if it's a bear or if it's a goose or whatever. Would you please put the animal's tongue back in its mouth before you take a picture and post it to the world? Dixie Dave is not cooking this time, Randy. He couldn't make it. He has a previous commitment. Okay? Please put the critter's tongue back in the mouth before you take a picture and post it. I have seen 100 wonderful pictures that were ruined because the animal's tongue is sticking out the side of its mouth and it looks like a cartoon character. It's not that big a deal, right? Easy to do. It sends the wrong message in today's world when we have the tongue out. All right, my friends. It's been another pleasure. Listen, if I'm going to leave church early, this is a good reason. 989-343-0892 for reservations. Next week at the Lumberjack Restaurant. 989-343-0892. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. It's something we do every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, and we're going to do it next Wednesday night at 7 o'clock as well. I probably will find myself retiring to my patio. I will probably light a cigar, and I may put a little maker's mark in my Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation jug. My name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. My radio show is called Outdoor Magazine. My website is called MikeAveryOutdoors.com. That's MikeAveryOutdoors.com. I was in my church too. MikeAveryOutdoors.com. And my email address is mike@MikeAveryOutdoors.com. Have a good night, my friends. We'll see you next week in West Branch.